Hello, can you hear
Hi, Shiraz. Can you hear us?
me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, Shiraz. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. Thanks. Well, let's get started.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
cool. So let us say a couple of words who we are and what we do, and then uh, get straight to the point. So my name is Alex. My partner, co-founder Dmitry. Uh, we are both do a startup. It's called Flash. So it's basically targeting US market and small businesses in terms of payments, financials, some even account payable, account receivable management. Well, we are on quite an early stage of our startup and do discovery in order to define the pain point so that we build a product targeting addressing some specific problem. We have some ideas what the problem could be, but in order to focus better, we talk to market players, financial representatives, accounting part, people who actually manage payments, manage financial controlling, and operate in financials between businesses. So we did like over 60 customer interviews, and right now we are about to switch to people who actually manage accounting and manage all that happens after transaction happened in terms of reconciliation, accounting operations, etc. So we decided to go there and ask for people about their experience and how they work and what the frictions they see in those operations. That's why we approached you. So thanks for joining us for today's call
All right,
and
thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you so
Um,
much. I myself is Shiraz. I also own an agency and as in different financial services, right? So I have also worked with several clients globally. It also includes US clients, UK clients, Canada clients, and all those European clients as well. So I will be glad. It would be glad to discuss some of the most significant challenges in account payable and account receivable management. Uh, like the most common problem is many businesses still rely on paper-based invoices and manual data entry, which also includes errors and inefficiencies and delays.
yep, we've
And
heard about.
then
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then there's a lack of automation. When everything is manually entered, then there is always a possibility of human error, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there is also lack of automation, I think, and then the poor visibility, like limited visibility into outstanding invoices and payments, make it difficult to track outflows, cash flows, and predict future performance, right?
Yep.
So basically, to run a business effectively, we need to make sure that our payments are on time, and we need to uh, be ahead of our schedule. Yeah. So these are some points which are needed to be improved in some businesses, and then there should be an efficient system which limits or which eliminates the late payment or collections, and then ineffective credit controls is also another weakness within the businesses which need to be overcome. So yeah.
Uh, Thanks for sharing your insights. We'll get back to it a bit later. Well, first of all, I just wanted to figure out what uh, services specifically you offer and your agency offers uh, and which of them is kind of demanded mostly? I mean, in most cases, people request maybe, and companies request same services. So what the most popular services you offer for US market? That's first question, what the services are. And second question is who the companies are, what they look like, what industries, what size of the businesses, which actually come and ask for your services. Could you please give some idea here?
Yeah, sure. So as a financial analyst, commonly I am asked to serve them in preparing comprehensive financial models, which should be which then need to be presented to investors for fundraising and stuffs like that. And then there are few clients from US who ask for financial analysis, and then the review reports and the auditing work, the but most commonly the significant clients ask for financial modeling because they are in a startup stage and they need to run their they need fundraising. For that they need to have an accurate and a comprehensive financial model, pitch deck and business plan and all that stuff.
Is it kind of one-time request, or it's something that lasts for some period of time?
Yeah, it depends on business to business. For example, in my last client of US, it was a real estate business. So the client was actually managing business on three different sites. It was the same real estate business. So I was asked to prepare financial models for each site separately. So yeah, it varies from business to business, but most probably it is a one-time service, I think.
Well, besides this financial modeling, maybe there are like any services that also happen often, but last for like for a period, or don't end up just as one-time service. Either any such kind of services, lasting services you can mention.
Yeah, yeah. Bookkeeping is one of the most common ongoing service which I provide. And then there are few valuations. Financial statements do need from time to time for taxations purposes, and yeah, then timely reconciliations within the QuickBooks, and yeah, and setting up the accounts accurately is also is what is demanded from clients most of the time, and for ongoing basis.
Great, thanks a lot for those details. And could you please mention for this type of lasting and repeatable services, what kind of clients they are, and just profile, I mean, how big the business is, what industries that could be, just the idea, the picture of the client, please.
Yeah. So if as an agency owner, I actually have got the clients which are not very big businesses, because major big businesses are actually require or actually prefer that big three or big four firms,
Yep.
So since we work basically or more often with small businesses which have like 10 to 15 members, 10 to 15 members, company members, or 20 to 15 maximum. So this is our basic target which we try to initiate and which we try to approach the clients from.
And either any industry specific, like most of the businesses come from some specific industries, or it's mixed. So could you mention here?
Yeah, most of the businesses are actually from real estate. Real estate businesses are common ones, and then there are e-commerce is also very much there. And yeah, I think these two businesses are top of the every business else.
Let's talk about those segments a bit deeper. That's, I mean, super interesting, especially for e-commerce. We heard about this also a couple of times. Um, so let's speak about segments a little bit. Well, you mentioned real estate and the e-commerce. So for real estate, and let's say like 10, 15 people in the team, what kind of business is it? I mean, is it like rent or selling houses or maybe some construction works? So could you please give some idea what they
Yeah.
actually do?
Yeah. So since constructing a house or apartment, we need to dig deep into the cost of each segment or each material separately, which something sounds complex. Uh uh like the businesses, there are like real estate there are like multiple businesses. For example, in my last client, it was real estate which was buy and sell business, and then it was also for rental purposes, and then it was also for the vacations, for vacations as well. So yeah, uh it depends from business to business, but in common or in general, we can say that the real estates are the ones which commonly need to raise much funds for better growth, and we can offer them financial models and pitch deck and business plans and all those stuffs.
And what do you think? What makes this segment, real estate, kind of specific? I mean, what's the different in there rather than in, I don't know, like food and beverage store? So what's the core difference that makes this uh, difference actually?
All right. So the basic difference is again that complexity within the building. Like I have given you the example. Like a building is made up of different material, labor, and overheads and all those stuffs. So
Hmm.
yeah, it makes it much complex as compared to the an e-commerce store where we have got the just our cost of sales information, and then the selling price, and then we can simply calculate the financials and all those stuff. So yeah, it's much complex in that way. Yeah.
Do you mean that it's like kind of, house is made of like a lot of stuff and a lot of suppliers, a lot of products with different pricing, and you have to, uh, you know, um, manage like multiple suppliers with multiple, you know, transactions? Is that the reason
Yeah, yeah.
of
Yeah, of course.
complexity? But
Yeah, of course.
that's mostly about construction when you build out or renovate the house, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, makes sense. And for second segment, you mentioned e-commerce. Also, you mentioned that it's kind of often. Um, I mean, this kind of business also requires some specific approach. So, what kind of company they are? I mean, where they sell, do they have like their own store, or it's marketplace merchants, who they are? Could you please give some idea profile?
Yeah. Yeah, so e-commerce basically include a major of clients are serving in Amazon and different social media accounts as well. Uh, but the real segment is like day-to-day usage of tools. For example, if I use a shoes, or if I wear shoes, so it's also include garments and few stuffs like that as well. Uh, so yeah, it's a wide range of products which have been sold in e-commerce site. Uh, we can't like, for example, a business is approaching in garments, and another business is approaching in different electronics, for example. So it varies from business to business.
And those guys, those e-commerce clients, they actually B2C selling to final customers. I mean, it's kind of B2C, right? To final, customers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just okay. And how big the business is? I mean, in e-commerce, in terms of maybe volume of transactions per month. How many like orders do they make so that they need accounting support, but still don't have an accountant in their team. So
Yeah.
um,
So a minimum orders may vary from may range from 1,000 to 2 or 3,000 a month, and again it varies from the business to business. It depends on the investment then the owner has put in into the business, and the number of products they are selling, plus their range as well. So these are all are the factors which vary from business to business.
I see. And well, before they came to you, how they used to solve this, accounting issues before? So why they switch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, most of them have not got any accountant with in their team. Since I told you, it was not a very big business. Those are the startups. Major are the startups which need a financial manager to work with them to efficiently manage their accounts. So yeah, they basically need a professional which can handle their accounts in an efficient way, and we can handle all their financials. Most of them don't have any accountant before, so I need to work from start and then make sure everything is up to date and accurate.
and before you, they did they like do all this work by themselves?
Yeah,
Or
a few of them have got up 1 to 2 financial members in their team, but they were not like professionals or
I see.
yeah. So uh, so it was required that they should approach a professional which can handle their accounts in much efficient way.
I see.
And then most of them also do not use any accounting software. They manually enter data into Excel and Google Sheets. So it was everything was almost manual. So for to make I think easier, I also recommend them to use an accounting software which can fix many problems and automate different things much effectively.
That's absolutely makes sense. And you mentioned that um, data entry is kind of one of the challenges. I mean, at the very beginning, you started to, you know, give an idea of where the frictions are, where the problems could be. And could please also, again, repeat where you see in this work the most problems are. I mean, the most time spent there, and the most inefficiencies could be there, and the most of workload and errors, potential errors could be. So what is the problem space here? You can
Yeah, yeah. For
identify.
example, we are working with a startup who have got 1,000 sale in their first month, right?
Yep.
So, for example, if those 1,000 sales have got 10 discrepancies, right? So we
Hmm.
need and the data on the all the data is within the Excel, right?
Yep.
So we need to dig deep into each transaction separately, rather than if we use accounting software, which will automate the things and make things easier for us. And the reconciliation is for this purpose. Like we can actually focus on the real problems where the problems actually are, rather than evaluating the whole population as a whole. Yeah, so
And
lack of
mhm.
automation is the major thing which I saw with in the startups and the businesses which I worked in.
And when you come out to this kind of company which has this problem with the lack of the automation, uh, can you like automate the problem so that it's not manual anymore, or it still requires manual, you know, workload, some data entry or whatever else? So, did you see some cases when it's like totally automated?
Yeah, I actually recommended them to move forward to automations rather than manually entering to data. And major of the businesses also agreed to automate their system by using an accounting software like QuickBooks and Zero and etc. So yeah, it actually for that we need to we implemented from right from the scratch. We first set it up the accounts, and then we move forward with that.
So they didn't have such tools like QuickBooks and Zero before you came and started to work with them, right? For
Yeah,
some reason.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
as soon as you create an account in those tools, does that mean that you set up an account and it's done and nothing else is needed, or you still have to follow up each transaction and check from time to time?
No,
So
then once we have got everything set it up, then it's pretty much easier for us. Then we can simply attach the bank statement with the tools, and everything is automated. Like you must have know the QuickBooks automations and zeros, all those stuffs. We only need to attach the bank statement, and everything else entered up automatically. And then we need to just remove the discrepancies or reconciliation, do some reconciliations to make sure everything is accurate.
I see. And let's say we have a customer, you have a customer who makes like 1,000 transactions per month, e-commerce. Let's say it's like garments and shoes e-commerce, 1,000 transaction, Amazon plus, I don't like Shopify store. Uh, what's your workload for this kind of customer? How many like hours you could work and charge to this kind of customer?
Yeah.
Uh,
So, like for example, if a business got 1,000 transactions in a month, uh, it may need like 30 to 40 hours. Again, depending upon the complexity involved within the transaction, and uh, the number of employees, and the number of systems which they have got. These are all the factors, but a normal business with 1,000 transactions need to be 30 to 35 hours to enter their workload.
uh, Here I just want to figure out why it's like that. I mean, just to better understand, unfortunately, I don't have such a background as you do. I mean, it's like really exciting. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, your experiences. Uh, well, in my like imagination, there is like Shopify or Amazon, and there is QuickBooks or Zero, which has some integration. So all the transactions created in those platforms go straight up uh, to QuickBooks, and that's it. It's automatic. But in reality, it's quite big workload, additional workload. So you have to follow up each transaction, spending like uh, you know 40 hours. That's quite a lot. I mean, that's let's say just roughly calculate 30 hours multiplied by 60 is 180. So it's kind of couple of minutes per order you have to spend for one transaction, couple of minutes. So what's the specific operations there that you have to do with each single transaction? Could you please give an idea here?
Yeah,
Where,
sure. Uh,
yeah,
Yeah, every business got their invoices with their sales, for example, and then we need to make sure that the sales amount is accurate. The double entry system is also accurate, and then we need to make sure every transaction is has been accounted for that day. We need to work on from day to day, right? So
yep,
yeah, and and then we need to make sure that there are not any errors. Like for example, you can let's say um, like automation is not always 100% correct, right? It
yep.
may include any digital error or any emission error as well. So we need to make sure it everything is up to date and accurate as well.
I see. And is that like constant process? So it's not like once a month. It's kind of day-to-day operations over the whole year, or it's has like some seasons where you know do more
Yeah,
and do less.
yeah.
So
So it varies from client to client. So it varies from client to client. Many clients want their accounts need to be managed timely basis, and a few may request to a few may demand to manage their accounts in the last week of month. So yeah, it may varies from time to time. But for me personally, I would recommend to manage the accounts on daily basis. It would help us to much effectively manage the accounts and uh, eliminate discrepancies on timely basis.
I see. And let's say, well, companies are growing. I mean, the revenues, the number of orders are growing, and in some point, they probably will decide to, hire some in-house accountant, or maybe like create a structure, financial structure, accounting structure inside the company, in their office in US or UK. What's the point when companies decide to switch? What makes them decide to switch to, in-house team rather than outsource those operations? Did you maybe face such situation, and why it happens, and when actually it happens?
Yeah, one of the most significant or the most usual thing which clients see is their security. Since this is a very sensitive area of business. Every business goal is to since it's every business want to make profits maximum at maximum level. So yeah, it's a very sensitive way. For in-house accountants. They may recommend the in-house accountants due to some security purposes and for legal and in future if there is required any legal proceeding they may approach that as well, which they can't do in a remotely basis. And then secondly, in remotely uh, actually, if we try our best and if we work effectively from time to time, they may not opt to hire an in-house accountant. Since in US, for example, in US there are many expensive accountants, and they may charge a significant amount, which may not be in the budget of very small or medium-sized businesses. So yeah, this is the opportunity. So that's why I actually target the medium or small size businesses because of their budgets and their workload is also not that much or complex, which for which can be managed remotely as well.
Could you please specify wh- what's meant by security and legal issues? I mean, what theoretically could happen if, let's say, outsource agency has an access and maybe some, you know, uh, accountant could see some figures, some numbers, but they can
Yeah.
actually can seems that they cannot harm this company. Or maybe I'm wrong. So could you please tell what could be wrong with security and with legal issues here?
Yeah. So, for example, if a company is a public company, right?
Yep.
So, if before the disclosure of the financial statements, an accountant come to know that a company is going to be in profits in the future, before it has been disclosed to the public, and it actually invests in the business to gain to get maximum dividends out of it. Like for example, he already knew that the company is in a major profit, right?
But that's kind
So
of big guy's problem. Since sorry for interrupting, I just want to clarify. I mean, okay, for public companies, absolutely 100% clear, but we kind of working with small businesses, which are
yeah,
mostly private. So it's kind of concerns bigger business we don't really serve. So it seems to be not applicable,
yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. So on the other side, if we see the small businesses,
Yep.
the main concern and problem due to which they may hire opt to hire an on-site accountant is that um, the remote accountant may not work that efficiently or that uh, with that passion or with that commitment in their work, which they can operate on the on-site accountant. So yeah, that's another factor which may be in consideration. And then yeah, that's it.
And regarding legal aspect, either anything, I mean, any like limitations or restrictions concerning maybe some financial data disclosure to third parties, to offshore companies, but companies still do in order to, save costs. Either any such things, or or it's absolutely totally okay to disclosure any numbers to offshore companies, offshore agencies. So regarding legal aspects, legal risks. Trust. Hello. Uh, yeah, it seems to be a kind of connection.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, right now, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sorry. I think I got a network error.
Sorry, didn't get your idea.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. Well, I just wanted to clarify the legal aspect, legal risks, potential legal risks, either anything that, has limitation or constraints for companies, for US companies to disclose their numbers to offshore agencies, but they still do. I mean, what do you mean by legal risks, and what potential legal risks could be there?
Yeah, yeah. So major legal risk is data protection and privacy laws. For example, a person may leak a sensitive information to another business within the same sector. Uh, so for that, we need to so that the business may opt to bind legal proceedings against the person, but he can't do it because the person is remotely not is remotely working remotely, and the other problem is confidentiality and non-disclosure obligations, which again a person may breach confidentiality agreements, and uh, then the business can't proceed the legal disputes against the person, and then the accountants are subject to various legal requirements, including accounting standards, tax laws, and regulations, which need to be complied with. So yeah, these are all the factors which need to be accounted for, and which yeah.
But seems that
Guys, our conversation will end now. Let's to jump to another room. I will send a new link.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sure.